Hi, my name's Anjali and I'd like to take a few minutes to give you some advice for when you're revising for your GCSE biology exam. I know that GCSE biology can be really overwhelming, but if you plan your revision right and you give yourself enough time, you can do really well. So my first piece of advice is to break each chapter down into smaller sections and then learn and test yourself on one section at a time. So for example, if you're revising a chapter on inheritance and genetics, you might first want to cover the basic structure of DNA. Once you're comfortable with that, test yourself and then move on to look at different patterns of inheritance and dominant and recessive alleles. Again, once you're happy with that, test yourself and move on to look at, say, inherited disorders such as cystic fibrosis and so on. And you'll just find that by breaking each chapter down into smaller, more manageable sections, you'll be able to remember a lot more than if you try to learn the whole chapter in one go. So following on from that, my second piece of advice is to test yourself as you're going along. You don't want to get to the end of the syllabus and then realise that you've forgotten things that you learned weeks before. I find a really good way of testing yourself on a topic quite quickly is by using flashcards and writing out flashcards, so the question on one side and then the answer on the back, in itself is a really good way to revise the topic. Once you've covered a chapter, a really good idea is to create a mind map. It will help you to bring together all the sections that you've learned and you'll become better at linking different concepts across the syllabus. Once you've covered all of the material, it's really important that you try as many past papers as you can. Even better is if you can try them in time conditions and in silence. That way you'll know what to expect in the exam, for instance how questions might be worded. You'll know roughly how much time to allocate to each question and you'll just feel much more comfortable when you sit down to do the real exam. Lastly, give yourself enough time. It's really important in biology that you understand the material and that you're not just reciting it all parrot fashion, because an examiner can really tell the difference. So I hope that this advice has been useful and best of luck.